On June 4th of 2024, a video was taken inside a public restroom where something pretty creepy took place. The man who recorded this is known as Axel Loa, and based on his voice alone, you can tell that he's deeply troubled by something. Axel states that no one else is in the restroom except him. Now this is odd, considering that he just heard noises coming from one of the stalls, but each one is empty. So, as an attempt to get this on camera, he begins to record and captures this.
Estoy ahorita en el baño de universidad. Lo que ahorita es que acabo de terminar de hacer el baño. Pues estaba todo normal. Pero ahorita están ruidos raros. Y se está tocando la puerta, pero quiero que vean que pues no hay nada. Vean, ahí está mi reflejo. Pero vean de este lado, pues aquí pues, no hay nada. Acá tampoco, vean. Aquí tampoco hay nada. Aquí pues tampoco, vean. Y acá el lugar es bastante pequeño y está mi reflejo. Pero vean, hoy. ¿Escucharon? ¿Escucharon? No hay nada.
As if it wasn't already startling to hear the banging noises, we see this, a face suddenly appearing in a stall that was clearly empty. It happens quickly, but not so fast that we miss it. Only do we realize what was seen until after it happens, or at least that's what happened with Axel. It was only after reviewing the footage that he noticed the face. Just like viewers, he was left terrified by what was caught behind the door. Like something out of a nightmare, a pale face with wide open eyes just disappears without a trace. Now Axel hasn't said much or given updates on this occurrence, but with or without further context, the video itself is still pretty terrifying. Now this next clip is over 15 years old and was filmed with someone's phone pointed at a CCTV screen. So obviously it's complete potato quality, but the clip was so strange that I just had to include it in the list. Now this video was filmed in the Ciudadela Plaza in Guadalajara, Mexico. Through the years, many workers and shoppers at the plaza claim to have experienced strange, unexplained events. Workers say that they often hear a child running and playing in the dead of night, and many shoppers claim to have seen a little boy who then vanished right before their eyes. So, late one night after closing, security guards at the plaza spot a lone little boy running through the back hallways all alone. Some plaza workers are reviewing the footage, and they are shocked by what they see.
Ve que aquí se mete en la pared. No. Fíjate, subió el pie.
The little boy seems to disappear right through a closed and locked door in one of the hallways, perhaps even right through the actual wall. A security guard is dispatched to go find the little boy, and things get even creepier.
No, ahí se va a meter, espérate.
Adelante, chicos, déjalo en 9-1. Over, para 38, se acaba de hacer el síndrome de los caballos de Monty que
Mira, está.
cancelaron que hasta mañana a las 7.
Ay, no mames.
No, ¿y sabes qué?
38, de esa manera. O sea, chicos, 9-1
The security guard unlocks the door and goes in, but finds no one inside the locked room. But the plaza workers watch in disbelief as the little boy's head appears again, right beside the guard, and he seems to be peeking right out of the actual wall above the man's head. So, could this be the little boy ghost that plaza shoppers claim to see? Let me know what you think. A man named Sebro has been living in his new home. He loves finally having his own place, with everything set up exactly the way he wants. But there's one thing about the house he could definitely live without. Not long after moving in, Sebram began noticing strange things. Objects mysteriously moved from where he'd left them, unexplained banging with no obvious source, and all of this bizarre activity seemed to center around the shed in his backyard. At first, he tried convincing himself it was all in his head, but once he started capturing these incidents on his phone, it became much harder to explain them away.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I've been trying to relax on my day off, but ever since the news of earlier, it's been a little bit difficult. So, decided I just want to come outside, enjoy my backyard for a little bit, enjoy my rent, as I like to put it. And just let y'all know what's going to be happening with the page going forward. Oh no. So here's something I didn't tell you guys. A lot of y'all have been saying, be careful because these things can follow you home. I don't know if anything followed me home or if it followed me to work. Shaking. Before we go in there, I want y'all to know that that's not the first time this has happened. It's just been a while since it's happened. Okay. Yeah, y'all going first. Am I closing it behind me? Yeah, how about that? Oh my God!
Although these strange occurrences left Sebram feeling uneasy, he could at least take some comfort in knowing the activity seemed to be contained to the shed in his backyard. As long as whatever was causing it stayed out there, he could live with it. Unfortunately, that sense of relief didn't last long.
Apologize for how I look right now. I was trying to record another video for you guys, and while I was trying to record it, this happened. I'm gonna teach you how to live your life in just 3 easy steps. I swear to you, that bathroom light just turned on. I didn't turn it on. my bedroom light on?
Whatever had been causing the strange activity in the shed now seemed to have found its way inside Seabram's home. His heart raced as he realized that whatever this presence was, it had entered the one place where he still felt safe. From that point on, Sebum was constantly on edge, looking over his shoulder and unable to shake the feeling that something was standing just behind him. This haunting activity continued, seemingly becoming more frequent with each day that passed. Unsure of what else to do, Sebram decided to continue documenting everything he could, setting up security cameras both inside and outside of his home. One night, as Sebum sat by the fire pit in his backyard, listening to music, he was completely unaware of what was happening behind him. Without warning, the shed door suddenly swung open, as if an unseen force had aggressively pulled at it. Moments later, the door swung shut on its own, with no one anywhere near it who could have caused it to move. As creepy as this was, at least it wasn't happening inside the house. But unfortunately for Sebum, what his cameras caught next is downright chilling. While SB was fast asleep, the door to an empty bedroom began opening and closing entirely on its own. But it wasn't the moving door that made his blood run cold when he reviewed the footage. It was what appeared in the hallway. Without warning, a dark, shadowy figure suddenly launched into view before quickly disappearing as it moved across the hall. Despite its translucent appearance, the figure seemed unusually tall, with a clearly defined humanoid shape. This horrifying piece of footage was the last thing Sebum expected to find, leaving him to wonder if he had finally captured the entity responsible for tormenting him all this time. Sebum insists he was completely alone when this was recorded, making the unexplained figure even more terrifying. And with the activity inside his home seemingly getting worse, I think he's officially run out of options. At this point, just fill the house with dynamite and blow it to smithereens. The man was dead sure they were home alone, but shortly before this incident, something strange had happened. One night, Tony thought he saw something small sprint down the hallway, right past his bedroom door. At first, he blamed his own son, but quickly remembered the boy was away with his mom and hadn't come back yet. Back then, the freaked out dad chalked it all up to exhaustion and a trick of the mind. But on the day of this recording, that nightmare struck again. and this time the camera caught undeniable proof. Take a look.
Elijah, hey, like this. Elijah, look it. Hey. Elijah, go like this. Were you dancing to some Green Day?
Tony didn't catch anything suspicious while filming, but his child reacted instantly. The little boy suddenly freezes mid-play, as if realizing right then and there that someone else is in the room. Staring intently from the dark behind them was a figure that looked chillingly like a small child. Skeptics in the comments tried to claim it was just a glare or a reflection of the boy himself in a mirror or glass, but if you look closer, that theory falls apart. The silhouette moves completely on its own, without mirroring the kid's movements at all. Judging by the child's bewildered expression, he knew for a fact that an unwelcome stranger was standing right there, someone who had no business being in their home. Overwhelmed with fear, the toddler freezes for a second, but then continues playing. If nobody else was in the house, what kind of entity was captured on tape? Tony was never able to crack this mystery. Could they have just come face to face with the exact same phantom child he caught a glimpse of in the hallway a few nights before? At around midnight, 2 nurses were finishing up their night shift at a dialysis clinic. Only one patient remained inside, an elderly woman in a wheelchair waiting for someone to pick her up. At one point, both nurses stepped outside after hearing a strange noise near the dumpsters, leaving the woman alone in the lobby. And that's when the security camera captured something strange. The patient suddenly looked off to the side, became visibly terrified, screamed, and covered her face with her hands. When the nurses returned, the woman told them that she had seen a frightening-looking person slowly approaching her. However, when the staff reviewed the security footage, there was no one anywhere near the patient, at least not at first glance. Later, one of the nurses noticed something unusual in the reflection on a TV screen. For a few moments, a strange dark figure can be seen in the reflection. At first, the figure appears off to the side of the woman, but just seconds later, its reflection seems to appear directly behind her. Then, the figure simply disappears. At first, the clinic staff were convinced that the elderly woman had simply imagined what she saw, but the strange reflection caught on camera made them question that explanation. Even months later, the nurses continued to revisit the footage, still unable to explain exactly what the elderly woman saw in the clinic that night. While riding on a train passing through Madrid, Spain, a passenger starts recording through the window, showing an old station along the way. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary, but as the train passes through a darker section, the camera captures a presence for just a few seconds that he doesn't even seem to notice.
Fíjate bien, ¿eh? Tú no pareces mirar.
Inside one of the tunnels, a figure with long hair and white clothing can be seen standing completely still. Looking closely, it appears slightly translucent, almost as if part of its body were blending into the surroundings. And there is one detail that makes everything even more curious. According to the person who posted the video, this was supposedly Chambéry Station, which was closed in 1966 and remained shut down for decades until it was turned into a museum in 2008. During that time, stories began to emerge about supposed apparitions and strange presences inside the station, adding to its reputation as a ghost station. Of course, that doesn't mean the figure is supernatural. It could simply be a person who, because of the low lighting and reflections on the window, ended up looking that strange. Even so, considering the story surrounding Chambéry, it's hard not to look at this footage with a certain amount of suspicion. But what about you? Do you think that passenger simply captured a person? Or could there be some truth behind those old stories about Chambéry? Now, this last video comes from Jalen Love, who, although has no idea what was captured, is extremely unsettled by this footage. She claims that no one else had been in the house except her two sisters, who are seen on camera. They had just come back from somewhere at around 10 p.m. when the security camera inside their living room recorded the following. Now, it's worth noting that this isn't the first time something scary had occurred. Only a few weeks prior to this incident, someone broke into their house. It's for this reason that they've set up cameras around their home in case it happens again. But this time, it appears that something else, other than a burglar, was captured. The two sisters enter inside, leaving the front door open for Jalen, who was still getting out of the car. As Jalen takes her time to come inside, this happens. Behind this door, a dark figure is seen. It's worth pointing out that no one is seen behind the door before it's opened. Nothing apparent stands out until something eventually does. Whatever this is, just stands there, while seemingly hiding itself from the camera, or at least a part of it, as only partially do we see the figure. Seeing this, Jalen and her sisters were freaked out. They state that they wouldn't have seen this if it wasn't for what occurred later that night. According to them, they had heard strange noises coming from downstairs, which made them check their surveillance cameras. But while checking the footage from earlier that night, they see this, a dark silhouette that disappears in the blink of an eye. Like many, she now believes that something unexplainable was captured. But as always, I'll let you be the judge. Was a ghost caught on camera, or was something else captured? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. If you liked this upload and want to see more creepy videos like this in the future, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any upcoming uploads. And let me know in the comments which clip you found the most disturbing.